Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Kay, and over here we do beauty related content, and I am finally back with a makeup tutorial. I haven't really been doing makeup tutorials on here for like 2 years. I'm not gonna lie, I've missed it. I have been on TikTok though, so if you miss me, you can find me over there. But I am gonna try and come back to this channel. So today I am here with an Eid tutorial. Well, it's not necessarily just for Eid, you can use this makeup for anything. But my friend sent me some inspo. Actually, I sent my friend some inspo of what a look she could do for Eid, and she said I better make a tutorial. So here I am doing the tutorial. I hope this helps. I'm gonna try and make this very beginner friendly, but you know. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments and I'll be sure to answer. Usually when I'm doing my makeup, I start with my base, but because today is a beginner friendly tutorial, I'm going to start with my eyebrows, because sometimes when you're a beginner, eyebrows can be like the hardest thing to do, so you want to get them out of the way first. And also when it comes to your eyeshadow, you don't want fallout coming onto your makeup. So at least now with this way, starting with your eyes and eyebrows first, it's easy to wipe away anything that you don't like. When it comes to eyebrows, everybody is different. So my main tip for eyebrows is just to start towards the back of your eyebrow and then build your way to the front. You don't really want a heavy front of your eyebrow. So make the focus the middle and the tail of your brow. Another tip that can make doing your brows a lot easier is making sure that they are already trimmed and shaped. So you can go get that done with a professional, and then it will make it so much easier to just fill in any sparse areas and just add some hair strokes. Once I'm happy with the general shape of my brows, I just use a spoolie to soften them up a bit so they're a bit less intense in the front at least. And then if you feel like it, you can add a few more hair-like strokes in the front of your brows. I don't always do this, but today I just felt like it. And now we're on to brow cleanup. So this is not a necessary step. To be honest, there's no necessary steps when it comes to makeup. But if you want to just make your brows look a little bit more defined, then I recommend using a concealer that is close to your skin tone, maybe 1 or 2 shades lighter, just to add a bit of pop and definition to your eyebrows and clean them up a bit. Personally, I only usually do this to the bottom of my eyebrows. I never really do this to the top. If my eyebrows are unruly that day, then maybe I might do the top, but it's a rarity. Just make sure to also blend that concealer in so that it's not too much of a harsh line and it blends into your eyelids. And then because we're going in with eyeshadow, I want to use an eyeshadow base. You don't have to use this, you can just use your regular concealer. I like to use this because it's a bit brighter and it makes the eyeshadow show up a bit more. So I just squeeze it on and then I blend it out. One thing to note is that blending takes so much longer than it looks on screen. So let's get into eyeshadow. You want to use a fluffy brush like this. I'm using the P. Louise Bride XL palette, Wedding XL palette, I think it is. All the products I'm using is going to be in the description box. But yes, I'm just using a nude palette and I've gotten like a cool tone brown, medium deep shade, something that will work for my skin tone, similar to what I saw in the picture. And I'm using a similar brush, something almost exactly the same, to deepen my outer V. So I've just gotten a darker color of the same color I was using previously, and I'm using that to deepen the outer corner of my eye, and I'm also going to use that on the inner corner. So I'm going to use that eyeshadow base that I used earlier just to carve out some light on my lid. So I don't want it to be too precise. It doesn't have to be a proper cut crease. It's just to have a little bit of a lighter base so that the lighter eyeshadow that's about to go on can show a little bit. So I'm just going to go into that same palette and just use a lighter brownie mauvey shade just to dust over that eyeshadow base that we used and create a bit of a contrast. And now it's time for the fun part, the glitter. So I'm going to use the Made by Mitchell blush in the shade Drip Drip. I'm going to put that on the back of my hand, take a tiny bit, tap off the excess on another part of my hand, and then put that on my eyelids, and that creates like a nice sequined look. It looks so good, especially in low light. It's so pretty. So I noticed there wasn't enough contrast in the look, so I'm just adding a little bit more of a dark eyeshadow in there just to enhance that contrast a little bit. And then now we're going to go on to eyeliner. So I'm using Made by Mitchell eyeliner again, and I'm just creating a small wing. Well, it was meant to be a small wing, but it ended up getting bigger and bigger. So now we are on to face. And I know I said that a lot of steps are skippable, but I would not recommend skipping primer no matter what anybody says. I feel like primer helps your makeup go on really smoothly, and when I don't use primer, at least I see a big difference. And you can see I love this primer. I've damn near finished it. So as you can see, it goes on really, really nice. It creates this nice slippery base, and that just helps the foundation to grip onto your skin a lot better, instead of it just sliding off so easily. And I love it. I'm gonna say it again, blending is key. If you want your makeup to look smooth, you need to be blending. Every blending that you see me do that looks so quick and easy, I promise you I spent like 3 times the time doing it off camera. Makeup takes about 1 hour, so I'm not gonna have 1 hour footage of me on YouTube. So you need to take your time and blend everything out so that it can be really smooth. So now I'm going in with concealer. You want to use something that is nice and creamy, not too heavy, but it's got full coverage. At least for me, I do, because I've got dark circles. But if you're blessed enough to not have dark circles, then you can use whatever concealer makes you happy. But I still recommend something creamy and smooth. You don't want something that's too thick or grainy, or something that's also too sheer and slippery. I'm using the Kem Beauty concealer. I have fallen in love with this ever since I got it. It's black owned, it's perfect, I love it. And I'm just gonna go in with like a tiny foundation brush. It's not a foundation brush, it's a concealer brush. So I'm gonna use that to blend out the edges of my concealer. And then I'm going to go in with a sponge afterwards. You kind of want to let your concealer sit if you want to get the maximum coverage. I would go in blending everywhere else before I blend my eyes. In this video, I didn't do that. I was distracted. But don't do as I do as I say. It still ended up looking really good, but it would have looked better if I let the concealer sit. But yeah. So now we're back onto the optional things. I'm using cream contour. I can't not use this. I love using this product, but you don't have to use a cream contour. You can just go straight in with powder. But I feel like with my skin tone as well, after using a highlighting concealer, I kind of get washed out if I don't use a cream bronzer. If I just go in with powder, it ends up looking a bit too muddy. So I like using cream bronzer for that purpose. And also it blends into your other liquid products, your other cream products so much better. Look at that blend. Gorgeous. And then when you're going in to blend your nose, I wouldn't use this big brush. I also sometimes don't cream contour my nose. I'm a bit iffy when it comes to cream bronzing or cream contouring when it comes to my nose. But yes, on my nose, I use a much smaller brush for those lines down the sides, just to make sure that it's nice and neat and doesn't go too wild. But even then, I still end up coming back in to clean it up with my sponge, because I don't want it to be too blown out and too all over the place. As I say, blending is key. So now I'm going in with one of my favorite parts. This is the loose powder, and you want to set your entire face. Well, at least set all the highlighted places. I like to set underneath my eyes really well, my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, my upper lip, my chin, basically my entire face. And once you're done, I don't bake though, I just like press the powder in. So once you're done putting the powder on, you have to make sure that there's no patches and blend everything in. So for the parts of my face not covered in loose powder, I'm going to go in with a powder that is my skin tone. I like to blend this into the loose powder areas as well, just to make sure that everything is, as I said, blended. And if you're lighter than me, you can get away with using translucent powder all over your face. But for me, I like to use a deeper powder just to make sure that everything is set before I go in with powder bronzer, powder blush, and also everything is like my skin tone, bringing the color back into my skin basically. And now I'm going to go in with this Juvia's Place bronzer. I'm going to use the top shade. People are always raving about the bottom shade, but I think the top shade is so much softer and less red. I think if I want a more bronzy look, especially for the summer, maybe I'll go with the bottom shade. But yeah, I put this in on my cheekbones, on my forehead, and like at the bottom of my nose. Just all the areas I cream bronzed. And that just helps add a bit more richness into my face. Now at this point, the look is starting to come together. So I'm going to put some blush on. I'm going to use like a mauvey shade, something to kind of match the inspo picture. and I love how that went on. Usually I do use cream blush, but I don't know why I didn't today. I think I was trying to be as conservative with products as I can be. I was not conservative whatsoever, but yeah. This blush is so cute. This is also from Ken Beauty, by the way. You have to check out Ken Beauty if you've not before. And now I'm dousing myself in spray. So I'm using a hydrating mist, and this is just going to help all those powders and creams and everything on my face to marry and be like one layer. And it's going to give it a more skin-like finish. So now it's time to add some definition to the eyes. I'm using a dark liner, and then I'm also going to smoke it out with some dark brown eyeshadow. And then I'm going to put mascara on and also my lashes. Now, you don't have to wear lashes. Honestly, I wish I didn't wear lashes because my lashes really messed up this entire look. I didn't put them on properly. You might have caught that in the intro, but if you didn't, thank you. So yeah, I'm just putting a half lash on. I let the glue on this sit for too long. You should let the glue on it sit for like maybe 30 seconds to a minute to get a bit tacky, but I left it on there a bit too long, so it made it difficult for my lashes to stick. And instead of me to reapply, I got a bit lazy and I said it was good enough. So here I am admiring my face, thinking I'm cute, not knowing that my lashes are going to sabotage me. And then I'm taking off all the lip product that I had on. I had a bit of lip balm on at the beginning of the video, and I'm taking that off so that when I put lip liner on and lip gloss on, it goes on a bit better. Now, a rosy lip liner is not going to suit me, so I'm just going to go and use a lighter brown than I usually use. The camera cut off, but here we are. And then I'm going to go in with a rosy lip gloss. I love this lip gloss. It's from Revolution. Me and Revolution glosses go together real bad. And this is the finished look. Minus the lashes, it looks really good. And to think, because of the lashes, I was going to scrap this video, but look how cute it ended up being. So I'm really happy with it, and I hope you guys like it too. So yes, this is the finished look. I am in love with it. It is very, very gorgeous. And it came out well. It's obviously not exactly like the picture, and that's just kind of how it goes. I don't have the same face as the girl in the picture. I don't have the same products as her, so it's not going to be exactly the same. So when you also recreate this look, it might not be exactly the same, but just try and take some tips and tricks from it and adapt it to your own face, your own style, and the things you have. I hope this helps, and I hope to see you in the next one.